Hello dear students, welcome to online classes. As we have started unit number 5, exploring values, today we are going to continue activity number 3. So dear students, before we start the activity number 3, let us see some hard words and the meanings of the chapter. So here are the hard words along with the meanings.
Hello dear students, let's see the hard words along with their meanings. You have to write all the hard words in your notebook and you have to also write their meanings. After writing the hard words and meanings in your notebooks, you should learn it. So from unit number 5, activity number 3, I have brought some hard words along with their meanings. We'll see one by one. The first word is slate. Slate is a type of wooden board which is used by small kids for writing. They use it for writing alphabets or numbers in their preliminary stage of studies. Second word is arithmetic. It is a branch of maths which deals with addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. This particular branch is also known as arithmetic. Next word is dedicated. The meaning of the word dedicated is devoted to a cause. It means that a person is totally involved in some work. He is totally dedicated for a good cause. Next word is annas. It is a former monetary unit of India which is equal to 1/16th of a rupee. This currency was prevalent in the olden days, but now it has been closed by the government of India, especially the Reserve Bank of India. We use rupee and the highest values nowadays. This Anna and Paisa has been recently closed by Reserve Bank of India. Next word is gazed, which means to look steadily. Next word is ripe. Ripe is a word which is used for fruits and vegetables when they are fully grown or when they are ready to eat. Next word is smoothering. Smoothering means causing difficulty in breathing. Next is utterly, meaning is completely or totally. Proportion. Proportion means a part or share of a whole. Little part or some little share of a whole thing. That is known as proportion. Next word is taught, T-A-U-G-S-T. This word is the past form of teach. The next word is miracle. Miracle means magical, very surprising. Next word is delighted, which means extremely pleased. Next word is torturing, which means mental or physical suffering. Torturing means mental or physical suffering. Next is thrash. It means to hit someone. Sometimes thrash is also used for garbage. So in this activity number 3, thrash means to hit. So the meaning is to hit someone. Next word is scowl. S-C-O-W-L, scowl. And the meaning of word scowl is angry expression on the face. Whenever you see an angry expression on anyone's face, you can use the word scowl. Next word is harass. It means to disturb or bother anyone for long time. This means harass. The next word is contradict. C-O-N-T-R-A-D-I-C-T. Contradict, it means deny directly. The next word is twist. It means to bend or turn something. Hesitate. Hesitate means to hold back in doubt. Hesitation means if you are just getting ready for doing something and you just take a pause or stop just before doing something is known as hesitation. So the word hesitate means to hold back in doubt. Next word is violent. It means harmful or destructive. Anything which is harmful to us or can cause destruction can be termed as violent. The next word is squeal. 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 The meaning of the word squeal is to make a loud noise because of fear or pain. So that is the meaning of squeal, to make a loud noise because of fear or pain. Next word is defeat. Defeat means to lose against someone. Next word is agony. Agony means pain or suffering. Both are similar to each other. Pain and suffering, they resemble agony. So meaning of agony is pain or suffering. Next word is plain sailing. Plain, plain. Sailing, sailing. Plain sailing means smooth and easy progress in a process. Slow and easy progress in any work is termed as plain sailing. Okay, dear students, so these are the hard words along with their meanings from unit number 3, unit number 2. It is not unit number 3, it is unit number 2, the story of Swaminathan and his father. So after writing these hard words, you learn the meanings and also keep practice of reading every day. You must not skip reading practice. Reading is more beneficial to you.
So dear students, in the story we saw that Swaminathan was sitting in his father's room and he was given a problem of arithmetic to solve by his father. Being a very weak student of the class, Swaminathan was not able to solve the problem. He was confused in the problem which was given by his father. The problem was this one. If Krishna wants 4 mangoes, how much he will pay for the mangoes if 10 mangoes cost for rupees 15? Here they have not used the word rupees, they have used the word anna. Anna is the lower value of rupees. It was prevalent in the olden days. You might get more information regarding anna by your parents or the grandparents, and if not, you should know that anna is the lower value of rupees. Rupees is lower to paisa and paisa is lower to anna. So 25 paisa make 4 annas, 1 rupees make 16 annas, 50 paisa make 8 annas, and so on. In this way you can calculate how many annas are in a rupee or in 100 rupee. So dear students, his father gave the problem of solving a question that if 10 mangoes cost 15 annas, how much Krishna has to pay if he wants to purchase 4 mangoes. So previously Swaminathan was not able to solve the sum. After much calculation, he was fed up and he threw his slate and informed his father that he is not able to solve the sum. His father was not happy, he became upset, he was angry on Swaminathan. He held his ears and started twisting it. He said, "What is the wrong with you? Why are you not able to solve such an easy problem? Come on, let me help you." So he gave him an idea that you should find the cost of 1 mango first. But Swaminathan was not able to find the cost of 1 mango also. Again, his father took lead in his hand and said that cost of 1 mango is 15 over 10 mangoes. So simplify it, you will get the cost of a single mango. But Swaminathan was not able to calculate it also. He took nearly half an hour to solve the easy fraction. At last he told that cost of one mango is 3/2. Again, his father said, very good, you have found the cost of one mango, now simplify it further. But Swaminathan was not able to do it. It was a tough task for him. So, after taking one more hour, he was able to give the answer that the cost of one mango will be the decimal form of 3/2, that is 1.5 anna, and the cost of 4 mangoes which Krishna wants to purchase will cost 6 annas. So at last he was happy to give the answer. His happiness filled his heart and it came out in the form of tears. So dear students, in this way we came to know that the end of the story is very reasonable. It's happy ending. Swaminathan was able to find the answer for the question given by his father. Okay. In the previous units, hello dear students. In the previous units, we saw poetries, symbols, values, advertisings, and more. But one thing we kept aside was figure of speech. So let's start. What is figure of speech? So dear students, figure of speech is something which is maximum used in the poetries for creating a rhythmical effect, or we can also say to create a rhetorical effect. It means a rhyming effect. There are many figure of speech which will create a different form in reading the poetries and sometimes in the prose also. So we will discuss here mainly 3 figures of speech. One more thing I want to add, the plural form which is many times written wrong by many students. The plural form of figure of speech is figures of speech and not the figure of speeches. So many times many students are writing wrong. You should write the plural form of figure of speech as figures of speech. Okay, so let's start. First figure of speech is simile. So why do we use simile and what is the main definition of simile? Simile is used to give an implied comparison between two objects, whether they are living or non-living. For example, that your face is bright like a sun. Now here we cannot say that his face or her face is as same as sun, but it is representing like a sun. In this figure of speech, mainly 2 words will be used to describe. The first one is like and the second one is as. These 2 words will be used to compare 2 identical words, whether they are living or non-living. So simile means you will see an implied comparison between 2 objects. The next figure of speech is metaphor. Here it is as same as simile, but you will not find the word like as and as. There will be a direct comparison, like your voice is like a koel's voice. Here also we saw that like word was coming in between, so we can say that it is a simile. Like if you say you are a star, it doesn't mean that a person is a star. It means that the person is very popular, he is very kind, he is very virtuous, so that he is compared to a star. But in this comparison we didn't use any word like and as. So here we can say the figure of speech is metaphor. You will have many statements in which you have to find the figures of speech. Okay, so next figure of speech is personification, that was used in the previous unit. So what is personification? The definition of personification is a figure of speech which is used to give human qualities to non-living things. Like we will say, take an example, the stone was walking on the water. In this sentence we see that the stone is compared to the human quality of walking. We have never seen a stone walking on water, but by reading this statement we can say the stone was very light and it was floating on water. We can also say the wood is walking on water. So it doesn't mean that wood is having some legs and hands and it is walking, but we can say that the wood was floating on water. So in this way, a different type of exaggerations and words are used to give an rhetorical effect in the poetries or the prose to create an impact on the reader by the authors. So these are the way which is used for figures of speech. I will give you many statements in which you have to find different figure of speech and you have to complete it in your notebook. After completing it, you have to click the picture and you have to send it. That will be the homework for today. Okay students, I hope you have clearly understood the figures of speech, and if you want some more detail, it will be included in the next videos. Thank you for today.